That's one of the places where they did take out some original fabric and put something new in. But really the founding idea behind all the work we're doing here is to use as much of the original fabric of the building as possible and only replace what we really, really have to, either for life safety reasons or for structural reasons. The plaster in this room, the ceiling plaster in the walls looks very new because it was all replastered just a few years ago. Because the plaster, as I said, in the ceiling, there were actually 2 or 3 other coats of non-original plaster over this that had been put on over the years. And also the plaster on the walls and the ceiling had begun to delaminate. The original plaster and lath, after 100 years or so, plaster tends to pull away from the wood lath. And that's called delamination, and so there's really nothing you can do about that. You just have to tear it down and put new stuff up. And this very rough texture is original. This is what Wright would have wanted. Eventually there will be about 7 or 8 different colors used on the inside of the house. Right now most of it's white, so it'll be a much richer, darker experience in here. This is sort of the place where you would have first run into some of the technology in the house that might have been unusual to you if you were visiting in 1910. First of all these electric lights would have been something that you weren't really used to. There would have been an electric call bell at the front. Most people still had bells that you twisted or a rope that you pulled or something like that. There was a bathroom through that door so that you could get yourself ready before you went upstairs to see the family, because a servant would have come downstairs to answer the door. Mrs. Robie wouldn't come downstairs in her house slippers and her bathrobe to let you in. And there's a closet behind here where you could hang up your coat. And there's also, I think back here, what were they telling us? There's, oh, no, there's nothing. There's just a horn for the alarm system back there. But the house now, you can hear some fans working, you hear air moving. That's part of our modern climate control system. They installed a fan coil system upstairs that's also augmented by air handlers that are around the house. And those help maintain constant temperature and humidity throughout the year, so the interior of the house is protected sort of like a museum environment now. Anyone have any questions? I was expecting more questions.
Is it expensive to heat? I mean,
yeah, probably. I'm not exactly sure. All the windows are single, single glaze. There's no double glazing. They're installing new insulation where they can as they go along, but a lot of the exterior walls are still uninsulated. So I'm sure the heating bill would frighten most of us.
What was the original heat? You mentioned coal-fired boiler?
Yeah, there was a boiler that created pressurized steam that was fed throughout the house, and there were actually chases underneath the concrete slab that was originally here that had pipes in them that carried the heat, this hot stuff throughout the house. And those chases were inside of, or the pipes were inside chases that were created by wood boxes that had been put down before the concrete was poured. And the wood deteriorated and rotted over the years, and termites got into it, which is some sort of unusual up in Illinois. And they caused those the wood parts to collapse, and then the slab started to fail because there was nothing under it to support it anymore. So we had to tear the whole slab out and put a new concrete slab in. And this is the slab that you see here, and we're going to cover this eventually with a 1-inch pour of a material called magnesite, which is what is on the edge of the stairs right here. It's kind of a concrete-like material, but it's got a little different chemical composition, and it's easy to add pigment to, and you can finish it very smoothly, all of which Wright really liked a lot.
What is the ceiling height here?
Well, I'm 6'3", so this is about 5 feet, or 5 inches, so not very high. But part of the reason he did that is he really was trying to bring the height of buildings down more to human scale, because a lot of homes at this time had 10, 12-foot ceilings. And also, he doesn't want you to spend a lot of time in this room. He wants you to get out of here, so that's another reason. He was 5'7", so this is a good height for him. Yeah, and if you don't like it, it's tough. Well, let's go on upstairs. We'll see the living room and dining room.